Okay, we can go ahead and get started here. So, for those who are new, I always do this intro, I feel like, because we always have some different new people joining these office hours. For those who are new, I usually like to start these office hours off just by demoing some of the new stuff that we're building here at Mindsmith. Sometimes I'll demo unreleased stuff, or sometimes I'll demo recently released stuff. Um, so today I wanted to demo a few different things. I'll start off by showing you all around some of the new stuff that we released recently. So I'll show custom characters and creating custom, oh, thumbs up, creating custom characters. And then I'll also probably show their narration glossary, which is a new thing. And then finally, I'll show some unreleased stuff. So, some of the things that we've been working on around AI video and redoing our video editor and creator, which is really exciting. So, let's start off by showing you around just some of the updates that we've made recently. These updates are pretty raw. Actually, the updates are just recent updates that we've made. They aren't like huge updates, so I'd say just within the last couple weeks we haven't released anything super major, but we have, continued our steady cadence of releasing things that are helpful and exciting. Um, so yeah, I'll talk about some of the recent changes that we've made. So, and I may add some more things than what I originally said that I was going to cover. For example, we also added tags. Tags are cool. Tags are really helpful for organizing content. So some people will create tags around the stage of where the content is at. So if the content is in review stage or completed or draft stage, you may create different tags depending on the stage. Or they might have to do with departments, or there are a lot of different things that you may want to use to tag your content, but ultimately it's for organizing your content. So you can create these tags. You just click the three buttons in the bottom right, and then you click tags, and then you can add a new tag. So pretty straightforward to add tags here to your content. Tags will also be extra helpful moving forward if you end up using the MCP a lot. So the MCP kind of adds more context that it can use when searching through your content. So you may say, look at all of the content just for our, core instructional design team, or look at all the content for our customer education team or whatever. So tags can be really helpful for organizing and managing content. So that's tags. Um, what else did I say I would talk about? Narration glossary is cool. So pronunciation guides. So you can give what do they call this? The phonetic spelling. So you can give the phonetic spelling here and then the normal spelling here. And you can add these different entries so that anytime there's narration happening, that it's always pronounced right. It's really helpful if you have acronyms in your company or whatever, and you do a lot of narration. Of course, you can do it for all the different languages as well. So that can be a helpful one as your team is scaling their use of Mindsmith. What else did I say that I would cover? I think that covers most of that. Another thing worth calling out quickly, we recently started our beta for our storyline importer. So people who have a lot of legacy content in Articulate Storyline, just send me an email if you want to be added to that. Essentially, what you do is you upload the storyline file here to the agent, and you tell it, I want to convert this lesson into a storyline file, and then we'll run an AI agent across that file, and it will make decisions on how it could best be presented in Mindsmith. Um, and it'll also include notes if it feels like there is something like if you can do something in Storyline that you can't do something in Mindsmith, then it'll include some notes like, hey, I wasn't able to replicate this for this particular reason, and it might give you some, um, instructions on how you could do a similar thing in Mindsmith or a workaround, or maybe it's just simply something that you can't do in Mindsmith at all. So pretty cool. If you want, yeah, if you have a lot of legacy content, let us know and we can add you to that beta. Okay, another thing that I wanted to shout out were these sharing settings. So here in sharing, we recently added the ability to invite people directly to a lesson, and you can lock off content. So after you've created a piece of content, you could say, no one in my team space can have access to this content except for these individual people. And you can add the different people as editors or viewers. That way you don't have other people meddling with your content after it's done. So sharing settings are also very helpful. Okay, so those are some of the, small but important quality of life settings that we've added recently. The next thing that I wanted to show was our new um, AI video builder and editor. So let me jump into a lesson. I think this one has some of these videos we've created. So the new AI video editor and builder basically it's a complete redesign of our AI video system. For those of you who have used the old one, it's pretty basic. It has, you can have two different tiles or one tile within a video, and all of the text is static, and you can have your like talking head avatars. Um, this one leans less into talking head avatars, although you can use them and incorporate them into these videos, but it doesn't use like the avatar as the like central part of the video. What it does, and actually in the background, what we've done is it's actually entirely designed with code. So basically, what we do is we give Claude a blank canvas and we say, use code to design this video. And so it creates all these different scenes and it creates animations for all the different scenes. So it's designed each of these scenes. If you wanted to include, like I said before, if you wanted to include an avatar, then you can have it do that. This particular video doesn't have any avatars. But yeah, you can see this scene here. I can
Most
play
people
it.
think listening is staying quiet, but active listening is something far more intentional and far more powerful in the workplace.
So you can see that the AI designed this page and then it, designed all the text. It gave me the transcript here. And then it also designed each of these animations with the different moments in this learning experience. This is still very much in what we would consider an alpha. It's like somewhere between an alpha and a beta. It doesn't quite have editing directly on the screen, what you would consider WYSIWYG. What you see is what you get editing. So right now, any edits that you need to make have to be done here in the chat. But again, it's very powerful. So like it has animations
The
for all
difference
sorts of stuff.
listening is significant. Passive listeners wait to talk. Active listeners focus entirely on understanding before they ever respond.
So you can see that it designed all of this just from the ground up using a blank canvas, and it felt like it would be helpful to have this on the left and this on the right. But I could jump in and I could say, hey, I want passive listening to be on the top and active listening on the bottom or whatever. So anyway, if you want to be added to this video builder and video editor, just let me know and I'll add you to that as well. We can check out this scene too.
Two foundational techniques. First, paraphrasing, restating what was said to confirm
The animation on that one was a little bit off, but you can, it's not quite perfect. It's still alpha.
understanding. Second, asking clarifying questions, which replaces assumptions with specific information.
And this actually was designed in a previous version. If I remember right, we've released some updates that align these animations a lot better to these moments in the transcript. So anyway, that's video. If you want to be added to that, just go ahead and shoot me an email again, and we can talk about getting you on Mindsmith video. Okay, so next what we'll do is I'll just open it up to questions like we normally do. If you have a question, feel free to raise your hand and then come off of mute. Or if you don't feel comfortable raising your hand, you can also go into the chat. So we have the Q&A chat at the bottom, and I can answer questions from the Q&A chat. So go crazy. Feel free. Raise your hands or type questions into the chat. I saw a hand from Curtis and then it went down. So if Curtis, you have a question, feel free to ask the question. Curtis.
If you could show that narration one more time that you showed earlier, where you
Sure.
get to that.
For the video?
Yes. No, no. Where you change the pronunciation.
Oh yeah, that's here in settings, narration glossary.
Great. Great. Perfect. Thank you.
Cool. All right. That was an easy one to answer. Thanks, Curtis. Okay, I'll stop sharing. Seeing a ch question in the chat from Winnie. How does the new per lesson access feature work? So that's what I was showing earlier around restricting who has access to your content. So you would go into a lesson, you would click share, and then you can say that no one else in the team space can access this. Or you can say anyone can edit it. And then if you restrict access, then you can give access to certain people. So I could say, I want Will um, to be able to access this, and just me and Will can work on this. And I want Will to be able to edit. So pretty straightforward. Should be, I think it's similar to like a Google Doc is kind of a similar situation. So yeah, does that answer your question, Winnie? Winnie, you have a hand up. Yes.
So it kind of does. So my query was about, could I hide anything or restrict elements of the learning within one lesson? But I don't think I can. It's just given access to the whole thing, but restricting who can see all of it.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Great. Other questions? Yeah, Winnie.
I have loads of questions, but I don't want to take up everybody's time. That's why I'm quiet.
You're all good. I think yeah, things are pretty slow, so feel free to ask your questions.
So I've been having a play with the narration on all of the pages. But what I'm noticing is if I change my page, I have to go back into the narration option at the top of the page. Is there any way that I could keep that open if I'm just looking at narration for the entire lesson?
I don't think so. That's probably just like a UX thing. I will tell you, and this is for everyone, we're redoing the narration experience for you as the learning designer. It's pretty chaotic right now because it's different, like from the different elements. Like narration of a video is different than narration of a page, and it's like kind of weird and hard to find where the narration button is. So that's something that we're redoing, is narration and voices and choosing voices, just that whole user experience. But yes, right now I think it will continue to close if you go into a different page. I can bring that up to the product team and say that like, hey, it's pretty annoying when you are trying to do a lot of narration that you keep having to like open it up and it's 2 clicks, no matter what, it's always going to be 2 clicks. Or yeah, right now it's always 2 clicks, which is also annoying. So heard, and I'll pass it along to the team. Okay, I'm seeing a question in the chat. Will you add the possibility to customize the avatar in the video editor? Oh yeah, I forgot to answer that. We have that. It's live right now. I was gonna show that one, then I forgot. Okay, so avatars. I actually don't know if it's live in our current video editor. That's a good question. Let me check. Avatar. Oh yeah, right now we don't have custom avatars in video. That's probably because we're redoing the video creator. But if you want to add a custom avatar in your branching scenarios, you just click on edit here. You click on the character and then you click create character, and you can upload an image or you can generate one. And then you can have them doing all the different facial expressions and all of those things. So I could call this Ethan Webb, and it is um, a man in his late 20s. And then you just click generate character. It might take a little bit, but um, yeah, you just click generate character and then you pick the character and you're good to go. Okay, fantastic. Oh, I'm glad you like it. So yeah, we should be able to add that for video, yeah, talking head avatars as well. We're still waiting on this, but feel free to ask questions if you have a question. Any other questions that I can help answer? Oh, seeing a couple in the chat. When he asks, with the experience tiles, when completing on a mobile device, is there a way to move the pop-up as it obscures the image reactions? Also, can we add narration? I don't think there's a way to move the pop-up right now. If you could send a screenshot of what that looks like from your perspective, then we can send that over to our engineers and we can make sure that it's just a really nice experience. Adding narration to you should be able to add narration to the experiences. Let me share my screen again. By the way, here's the image that it generated of me as just a man in his 20s. So I can continue, I can give him a voice. Apparently I can generate voice. That's kind of cool. Um, and then you just create the character and then it's going to generate all the poses. While that's generating, let me pull up another experience tile. I think this one. I think this might be the same one that I'm on, so I'll go to a different one. See if this one has an experience. Sorry, I have to find one that has an experience tile build. Okay, there's one. Narration. Yeah, you just click narration here on the bottom, and then you can add narration. And you can choose so yeah, I think it's on page, and then you can choose the node if you want to change the narration just for that node, or you can have it narrate all nodes. So yeah, you just click on the different nodes and then you can narrate each of the nodes individually. So that's how that works. Awesome. Thanks. You're welcome. Claudia, I'm trying to improve my workflow with Claude MCP. Do you have any advice for me on how to optimize my workflow? Um, the MCP is still, so new that the best advice I can give is tell it what you want it to do. I don't know. Maybe it's helpful to know like the different tools that the AI has within the MCP. So the MCP has the ability to search. It also has the ability to create. One thing to keep in mind though is right now in in MCP architecture land, you're not allowed to pass documents directly through. So if you're uploading a document to Claude, and you're hoping that that gets to Mindsmith, there's no like really good way to do that. So if you're creating new content, I would probably still recommend that you go just directly into Mindsmith. Um, Although I think that's been changing. There's been some like rumblings or news that like Claude has released the ability to pass files through their MCP. So that's hopefully going to change eventually. And then the other ability that Mindsmith has is edit content. So any sort of searching or editing or, mass, anything that you would want to do across your entire library of content, I would generally use the MCP. The other thing that you can use the MCP for is if you want to create agents. Typically what I do is I will create a scheduled agent in Claude. So I'll go into Claude. Right now they're called routines. So I'll create a routine, and I'll create a skill file for that routine. So the skill file just includes all the different details on what the AI should know on how to accomplish that task for the routine. So you can give it examples of what to do, what not to do. You can give descriptions. You can upload files. You can do all sorts of different things. Or you can chat with Claude and say, we generally use Claude internally, but you should be able to do this with other AI systems as well. You chat with it and you just say, hey, I need to create a skill.md file. Here's generally what I'm trying to do. Help me, help gather some more context out of me about like what would be helpful to go, like what should go in this file. And then it will ask you some questions and it will, draft that file for you. And then it can also do the scheduling of the tasks. And then, yeah, but these agents you can design to do really anything. So you can have them periodically checking your email for updates that your boss sends you. You can have them periodically checking your help center on updates and changes, or if you have a certain Slack channel that, updates to the product are posted in, all sorts of, you can create all sorts of different agents for creating, editing, and managing your e-learning content. So that is the MCP. One thing that we're working on that's kind of cool is also a learner-facing MCP. So your learners would activate it, and they would be able to search Mindsmith content, and Mindsmith would actually be able to create content for them as well based on that corpus of data. Where, I mean, they couldn't edit the content, obviously, but they could, search around a certain topic, and the MCP would go and grab a certain piece of a learning experience and present that to them, or it could go create a learning experience, which is also kind of cool. And it actually presents that learning experience natively in the LLM. So if they're in Copilot, it would be like a Mindsmith role play in Copilot. So that's something that's in alpha as well. That's pretty exciting. Okay, other questions? Okay, not seeing any other open questions, so we'll go ahead and wrap. Ooh, one buzzer beater from Danielle. Okay, Danielle, I need to give you the ability to speak. Okay, Danielle, what's up? If you're speaking, I can't hear you. I do see that you're not on mute, so I'm not sure.
What now? Is
Yeah,
that better? All right, awesome.
yeah.
Sorry about that. I got stuck in, not stuck, but I was in a meeting and just got in. I had a couple of questions from everybody, kind of threw a couple things at me to ask you about.
Sure.
Is it possible to get a scroll bar in the scenarios so that learners know if they scroll down, there's more information? Because right now it just kind of like shows that either the information cuts off or if there could be like a little space in another paragraph or something.
Yeah, let me I know we did some updates to scenarios. Let me see
Yeah, you guys did
if
some amazing. The scenarios are we're loving them.
They look good. I'm glad.
Yeah, they look fantastic. I love
Right.
the addition of being able to have the way you set it up for the characters now. Like we can have a character and an example and have them go into a scenario as well. It's really cool.
Awesome. So scroll bar, you are right, is not there right now. I will add it to our product team. Okay, what else?
And then is there a way of creating a checkbox in the tables? So if I'm creating, say, like a balance, like it's doing somebody's balance sheet, they like a client, in a case study, say a client's given us a balance sheet. I want to be able to check off each item that I've already entered into the software. Is that an option to be able to have a way of saying, yep, I did that. Yep, that's done. Yep, that's done.
Not in the table tile.
Okay.
We do have a tile. I want to say it's the list tile
The
that
list tile.
allows you to
Okay.
do checkoffs. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So maybe I'll have to
So
switch some things over to list tiles.
yeah, so it's on list, and then you have to edit it to choose the mode as checkbox.
Okay.
Yeah, so list tile is the answer to
Okay.
that.
That's perfect. And then this is the last one. For the table tile, can you guys is there a way to have it left justify, center, and right justify in each cell? Right
You're
now we're
talking about the
having to,
text.
yeah, right now we're having to when we're doing some of our financials for courses, we're having to tab over to get it where we want it, or to tab this way, and they're not really coming out as nice as they could if we had the left justify, the center, and the right justify.
Good question. The answer is no, not right now.
Okay,
But
because we
I
weren't finding
will.
it, but I just wanted to make sure that we weren't missing something. It's been a big ask recently.
Yes. Okay, I will bring that up to our team as well.
Awesome.
Yay.
That was it. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Danielle. Thanks for popping in. Okay, any other questions from people that I can help out with? Okay, not seeing any questions, so we'll go ahead and wrap up. Oh, another buzzer beater in the Q&A from an anonymous attendee. Thank you so much for explanations. I am Italian and I have Italian clients. Do you plan to translate the dashboard into Italian as well, or is that not included? We don't have plans to do that, but we could. So right now, the languages that we support are, let me check, make sure I'm not getting this wrong. English, Spanish, Portuguese, French, German, and Japanese. So Italian feels like a pretty natural add for us. I will bring that up to our product team as well. It's pretty easy for us to add those languages to the dashboard, but we usually just do them upon request. Danielle, I see your hand is still up. Is that on purpose or on accident?
By accident, sorry.
All good. Just wanted to make sure. Sweet. Any other questions? Okay, no more questions I'm seeing, and no more buzzer beaters. So we'll wrap up. Thanks. Oh, there is another one. I just have to say we'll wrap up, and then I get a question. Awesome. Claudia, Do you plan to allow setting a password for access to the course in your roadmap, for example, after purchase, using Kartra and embedding the content in the membership? I prefer to give the customer a password. Yes. So we have talked about that, but we haven't done it yet. I don't know where it is on the roadmap, to be honest. Most of our customers are doing like corporate learning. And so features for like the course seller, we tend to not prioritize. Um, so I could see us adding it probably within the next year, but I wouldn't say it's on our immediate roadmap. If you are selling content, I would generally recommend that you sell through a learning management system that's for course sellers and that allows you to upload SCORM packages. And I'd use the SCORM package instead of the embed to share your content. So I would probably use, there are a few out there. LearnWorlds is a good one that we tend to see people use. I know that Thinkific added SCORM as well. LearnDash is a pretty good one for if you use WordPress. So I'd probably look at one of those if you're selling courses and you want to make sure that you're gating really nicely. Because yeah, I wouldn't bank on us building password access. Okay, great. Other questions I can answer? Okay. I'm not seeing any, so we'll go ahead and wrap up, which usually means we'll get another question. Okay, we'll go ahead and wrap up. Thanks everyone for coming.